I've been recording. Welcome everybody. Greetings. Wesley here from the Lexcia podcast. Welcome to new returning listeners. Much love, much love. I appreciate everybody. And if you haven't already, I would appreciate it if you smack that like and subscribe button. There we go. I always forget that you follow this channel. It's crazy because as soon as I click record, all that shit goes out of my mind. Anyway, today we're talking probably my favorite genre of music. If you know, we're talking jazz. We're profiling an album launch on the 30th of August at the Wits Theater Hall. So that's gonna be fun. So let me introduce my guest this morning. We're talking to Viwe Mkizwana, sorry. The musician behind Blackchild. So my brother, first and foremost, good morning. Thank you for coming through. Welcome, and how are you doing?
Morning, man.
That's all right,
Morning.
my
Thank you
brother.
so much, and thank you for having me, man. I'm doing great. I'm doing great. I'm so happy to be here. Oh, wait.
No, thanks, my king. Thanks. So, like I said, man, jazz is probably my favorite genre of music. I love it for multiple of reasons. It's also as part of my art creating process. I think it definitely goes in sync with my thought process and the way I conceptualize work. And I've got almost a Viwe, you still there? There we go.
Yes, I'm still
Uh,
here. I'm still here.
all right, man. So
Yeah.
yeah, like I was saying, I've got a yeah, jazz is my thing. It's my thing. Uh, so let's actually start at the beginning, my brother. You this is your
Yeah.
third
Yeah.
this is your third album. So congrats on that. Many congrats on that. Before we get to the album,
Yes.
you're an upright bassist, right?
Okay.
I'm very interested to know. I'm very interested to know why the
Yes.
upright
Yes.
bass.
Yes.
How did you get into it? Yeah, let's start off there.
Well, when it comes to the upright, really, I wish I had a more philosophical story. I do not. I've always been drawn to music since from a young child. Of course, I've always grew up with music around me. Maybe not actively, but passively, there was always music. So as I was growing up, I think in my teens already, I did have a passion for music. I asked my parents to go to an art school, which fortunately they allowed me to go. They applied for me, and then I was at this art school, where now I started. Went through a series of instruments before I initially got to the double bass. To the upright bass. I played a bit of piano, played guitar, and eventually I just wanted to be part of an orchestra, like
Hmm.
everyone was. All my mates were playing violins and stuff in the orchestra, and unfortunately for me, with the piano, I couldn't join the orchestra. So eventually, fortunately, my teacher, my piano teacher, who played double bass, asked me if I'd be interested to play. And but after that, magic happens. From the minute I touched that instrument, I kind of like knew that this was the instrument that I was meant to play, because all of a sudden everything just became easier, clear. Everything I played, everything I intended to play just came out on the upright bass. And then it's one of those things that you search and search and search, and then that instrument found me, actually. And
I get that.
up to today, yeah, and up to today, even from my composition's point of view, I always hear the music from the bass up. Other people may hear melodies first, some people hear for lyrics first. And I mean, there's sorts of methods to compose music. But most of my compositions really starts from the bottom up, which starts from the bass line always. So I think this we found each other. I found my instrument and that instrument found me. Yeah.
That's interesting, man. That's the way you say, the way you like in tune to the bass first. Just explain that a little bit more to me because I'm understanding that different musicians, the words will come first, the melody and so forth. Just explain to me
Yeah.
what type of sound or if you are able to what exactly sort of sticks out for you in terms of a double bass that you say no I can that appeals to
I
I'm
understand.
gonna make a song like this. Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, by saying this, I would, if I try to compose, I would have just the bass line, which is where the role of the bass play for at least. Sometimes it could be a week or 2 days or 2 weeks with nothing accompanies that. So there is no song, but just the bass line. Because every time when I play and practice, I always get these ideas. I find ideas from playing the bass, and but that with that, just playing the bass, I still don't have the harmony of the song. I don't have the content of the song. I don't have the structure of the song, but just solely the sound of the double bass. And often in a song, a bass is not something that people sing or
Yeah,
recognize a song with,
yeah,
you know but
yeah,
it's something that can be removed, then immediately the emptiness will
yeah.
appear on the song,
You can hear it. Yeah, yeah.
yes, exactly. So my thought process always comes from just the baseline, and everything, then I start stacking things, elements from that one baseline. It could be
Uh,
something as simple as like doom 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 doom. For a week I have nothing, and then I start piece by piece stacking things on top of those two notes of the bass, you know. While other people, they get a message and they write it down, and
uh,
then they try to look for a melody that goes with the words. Or some
uh,
people find they hum a form of melody for a while, and then eventually they put the bass to the melody that they already found. You see?
uh,
So with these different concepts of compositions, mine falls to the double bass, and which is quite rare. I mean, amongst the other composers, it's quite a few people that think the way I do. So that's why I fully think that, what, the bass is my instrument, because
mm,
I mean, of even such.
mm. Yeah, I hear you. They say different strokes for different folks. We all work differently, but
So
the end
yeah.
result is the same. I'm interested to know. So you say you start off with the melody. Do you actually play the other instruments as well? So if you say you want to add this layer, do you actually go to the
Yeah,
piano? Yeah, explain. And also the lyrics. Do you
yes.
also write your own lyrics?
Yes, 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 yes. So I do pretty much the whole thing, and I will do like a pre-production before I present a song to a band and before recording. So what I'll do after the bass, my piano skills help me really to. It makes it easy to arrange, to arrange the music. Then I can get the parts, maybe do brass parts. I find that on the piano. After the bass is done, then I've established what chords I want to go with. Then I go sit in the piano and figure out the stuff on the piano. And mostly the magic happens with the piano. Also play the guitar to find just different sounds sometimes, because different sounds gives you different ideas. You see, with just one specific sound you've just played, kind of revolves around the same type of ideas. But the more you bring in another color, then it opens another spectrum of some sort. So I also experiment. I also play the cello. I experiment with the cello just so sometimes to open up my mind a little bit. So I go through a series of these instruments, and I also read a lot of text as well that uh, give me, and listen to a lot of music to get the lyrical content. So I also write my own lyrics. After everything is done, I do then write my my lyrics. And sometimes with the lyrics, for me, it's not as difficult because already the message would have been established by the
Yeah,
ideas of the songs
yeah,
already.
yeah,
Then
yeah.
already it's a matter of just putting the right words to this idea that is
Mm.
already established by the instrumental music. Yeah.
Yeah, I get you. I get you. So actually, let's actually
Mm.
sort of build up to the Blackchild. So I'm interested to know because with the album, one of the themes or one of
Yeah.
the few themes is reflection and healing, which is I think
Sure.
is jazz just does that. I think jazz just resonates that. But that's my personal opinion. So I'm interested to know because you
Yeah.
said that like in composing a song, you listen to different sounds, you read different
Yeah.
texts, stuff like that. What are those influences
Mm.
that you had that made you decide to put together Black Child, your third album?
So with the story of Black Child, really, it was really like a reflection on my life, and pretty much on what goes on around me. So the story of Black Child, I mean, to start, it's almost difficult to 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 get a full meaning of without looking at the two words differently. So the initial start, I looked at the word black, and then which, I mean, it carries a lot of weight in terms of historically, politically,
Sure,
but also black is visible but often unseen.
sure,
Black also refines beauty,
yeah,
struggle, resilience. And then if I look at child, speaks to purism, speaks to innocence, potential. So with me, both these words, black child, uh, uh, reflected someone who's born with the ability to be great, but shaped, and sometimes, sometimes the environment and the community or the society detect where these people uh, need to go in life. And so I just realized that Black Child is my story. Black Child is my story as a person who grew up in the township community, but it's also your story. It's also not just my story, but a story of many South Africans who carry all these stories. And I just wanted to create something a journey that will usher us through the journey of healing, uh, of striving, and of becoming. So whether you're black, you're white, you're Indian, you're colored, we all carry different struggles, different stories, and we all have different hopes. That's for sure. So the intent to this music, I mean, my hope to this music was to resonate, to for people to resonate with this music, and try to navigate whatever stories they go through. Because I think somewhere, somehow, we're all part of the story of the Black Child. So that was the initial concept of the body of work.
interesting.
And I mean, going deeper to it, I mean, every single note, every single chord, every single song in the project was like intentional. Every tone represented, I mean, both the struggle and both the triumphs, but in coming together. And this Black Child, that's where it was born. Yeah. If I yeah,
Interesting.
I put it yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no, no, it makes sense, and it makes complete sense. It's very interesting how you break down the word, and how you sort of listed like what these words represent, and how they, and when they put
Mm,
together, sort of like what they completely. That's fascinating. So I'll follow up on that. So explain to me the actual music, the actual sound, because I mean, we are you're a South African based musician, so I would
yeah,
assume lots of
sure.
South African style of music and so forth of music.
Sure.
Just explain to me sonically what the album is about.
Okay. So basically, so the story of the album, I mean, I tried to look at the album like as a play with these songs split as different scenes. So I have different scenes in this, like you have now the title of the whole play, the Black Child. In between this Black Child, there's like also self-reflection, where there's a piece where I say Vuga, when Vuga, which simply means just wake up, all the people of color. We must just exercise getting rid of the self-hate. We must be able to look at the selves in the mirror and say, you know what, this is beautiful what I'm looking at. And there's songs titled like "The Day We Are Truly Free," which means it's sometimes we loosely exercise the word freedom. But if you look at the current state, children can't be children anymore. Women can't be women anymore because they're not completely free. People can't even exercise their, I mean, their freedom of speech because they are and you are too entitled, your entitlement, your white privileges. So everyone is constantly walking around the shelves and saying, I don't want to say this because it's going to offend this one. I don't want. So it's the, then that's where it comes when I think we use the word freedom loosely. So I thought of what in sound, in song, if the day we are truly free, how will it sound like? I mean, I could dream of a world like that, but I try to put that one into song. And then if you look, close your eyes and listen to this beautiful song, and then you can kind of get the glimpse of how the world would look like if we're all completely free, you know. And there's pieces like Rising Horizon, where I think it might sometimes feel like we're not moving ahead as a people, but also this, it gets pitch black before you see light. So stuff
Yeah.
like that as well. That the end, the beginning is closer. The new light, Rising Horizon is like when the sunrise, and that's where we're heading to this. So it's all one story, divided into sections, and mostly it's about the stories of South Africa and and people that go through in South Africa. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That actually makes me, because I was listening to your channel last night, like checking out your other videos and your other
Yeah.
sound. You work with an ensemble of artists of musicians,
Yeah.
and on the album,
Yeah.
can I tell us a little bit about who they are? Who's playing what
Okay.
different instruments and so forth?
Okay. So I was quite fortunate for this project to work, I mean, with the greats. It's like the best musicians in the country, best jazz musicians in the country. If you look at someone like Marcus Wyatt, who played the
Mm.
trumpet, who've been in the industry from the 90s as well, who's played with
Yeah.
everyone from Bright Hugh, everyone. We look at Sisonke Klonti, who's breaking rules, Bokani Daya, Spelelo Mazibuko, Bratlale Makene. So it's quite big names in the industry, Tandi Ntuli, Spa, Mdlalose. So it's quite big names. And I selected specifically these people because of also their contribution. And before, when upon composing this work, I did tell them the story, and I
Mm.
wanted them to reflect on the story as well, and also contribute part of them into this story. And the results was phenomenal because these people took that story to heart and really gave it all, and and left a piece of themselves in the music. So I
Mm.
was so fortunate to use this bunch in this group. Yeah.
I'm interested to know, Viwe. Tell us, just elaborate a bit more than that. So just on my list, let me just sort of summarize, and then you just explain to me. So you sort of
Sure.
conceptualize the entire album, the what sound, the themes of the album, and then you invited, so like
Yes.
example, like Marcus Wyatt with the trumpet, or Tlale McKenna with the with the
Yes.
with the percussions. So when you present them
Yes.
with the concept of the album, how do they interpret it, and what do they interpret on top of it, and how does that process work to that we end up with the final product, with the final album at the end of the day?
Okay. So by that, so the music would have been written by then. It's almost like similar to a director that presents a script to actors, you see. But now the actors are the vehicle to make sure that this comes alive. So similar to this music, the music is written. I present this music to the guys and say, guys, now we want this to come alive, because now it's still a concept. It's just on paper. We all read it, but you can take this music to China. You take this music to Australia. It will sound a certain way because it's not alive. So I want a human element. I want a depth of South Africa into this music. And of course, you must understand that everyone comes with their experience to the music,
Yeah,
which is gold also. Because I
yeah,
could simply take the music and get high school student to play, it will sound different.
mm,
But using those very same people, because they can critically think about and be intentional about the specific sound that they want to use, and
mm,
even through their solos, how they can speak to the audience. So it's
mm,
almost like they also telling part of their stories
mm,
within this music.
mm.
Yeah, if that makes sense. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, actually, another follow. Excuse me. A sort of
Sure.
another follow-up question on that, and we sort of wrap up with this section of the interview with us. And I'm interested to know the credits of the song because that's a big thing in music. So how does that how does
Yes.
that work? Does the entire ensemble of musicians get credited for the production or writing of the song, or yeah, how does it work?
So with the credits, everyone is credited for being for, of course, for performance rights of the album, and I also go to an extra measure where I credit the musicians who plays solos, because if we look at a solo, although I've
Ah,
given like a structure or way to play, it's still kind of your own intellectual property how you
yeah,
played
yeah,
on that, you know. In
yeah,
terms of compositions of the songs, they remain my songs because I fully composed the songs, you know, and because over going forward, how it's gonna be performed, people are gonna it's gonna be performed in different ways all the times, but the
yeah.
signature of the song remains my compositions. But for the recording purposes, I did credit everyone that
Mm.
put solos, which is also, I said to everyone, I need everyone to take a solo somewhere so that a piece of them
Ah, yes, yes,
can
yes, yes.
live in this record. Yeah,
Yeah,
you see.
yeah. Thanks for that. Thanks for
Yeah.
that. From my understanding that you're
Mm.
also part of the Simpiwe Dana's production Moyo, which performed in Russia.
Yes.
I'm fascinated to know,
Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
what was the reception like back then, man? I mean, yeah, what was the audience?
Yeah.
How did they take in the music?
I mean, the people of Russia, first of all, what we think of them and being and witness, it became two different things, you know. But the people there, they eager, they hungry for music. Because, I mean, with obvious reasons that they don't get a lot of exports in their country
Yeah,
in
that's why
terms
I'm
of
asking.
arts.
Yeah,
And you could see people wept, people were in tears because that sense of longing and something, because we're there. There's the story of Moya. It's a story of Simpiwe, and she was completely vulnerable, and the music was vulnerable towards these people, and all they could do, they just they it was such a huge honor when they said that to for us to come and bring that thing. We had three sold out shows in one of the biggest venues in Russia. I mean, in Europe, in Moscow. Three sold out shows. I mean, one hall takes about 5,000 people, and we
sure.
all sold out to those 3 days. Yeah, for 3 days sold out,
Sure.
and I mean the manager of the festival wants more content from South Africa, wants their people to access more of South Africa because they couldn't believe how of a high class standard we are, you know. And I mean, we are very, very far in terms of artistic and stories, you know, and people always resonate better with lived experiences and people telling their stories. Could be through dance or through music. So that was
Mm,
fantastic, and it was also like such a phenomenal production, directed by the one and only Gregory Makoma, the phenomenal
mm,
dancer. He directed the show, so it was well thought out. I mean, you had element of dance in the show. There's storytelling, and there was music. We laughed, we danced, we cried at the same time on stage. So that was quite
sure.
powerful. Yeah,
That's interesting, man. 5,000 people. That's like 15,000 people in 3 days. That's substantial. That's up
exactly,
that.
exactly.
That's
Yeah,
substantial. So like
yes.
with regards to your music at Blackchild, do you think there's a bigger market for you in Russia and in Europe? You know, in comparison
Yeah,
with Africa and the rest of the continent.
yeah, totally, totally. So, when Blackchild was born, the piece, I was fortunate to be asked to compose an orchestra version of it last year for a 50-piece orchestra, and this made its premiere in Amsterdam, Concertgebouw in Amsterdam, and we toured with the same Black Child, with just the orchestra version in Hamburg at Alp Philharmonia. And I mean, there's that takes about 15,000 people, the hall, and sold out. We were at Berlin Philharmonia doing the same, and Emden in Germany. So a few places in Europe, and Europeans could not get enough of it because that's how it touches people. And then when I came back, this was just one piece now, this Blackchild. When I came back, that's when I decided that there is clearly a need for this
Yeah.
work. So that's when
Yeah.
I composed then the rest of the music. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, so
Mm.
there definitely is, and there
Fascinating.
is, I mean, there's always reliant on funding, but there is like huge plans to take this project abroad.
Fascinating, man. And I actually want to
Mm.
follow up on that. So with regards to the marketing of the album, uh, marketing and
Yeah,
promotion, are you? How does
sure.
it work? Are you mainly targeting Europe, the West, or the rest of the continent, or how does it work? And what's the way forward with regards to that?
So, with regards to marketing, I mean, I've got some networks in Europe mostly,
Mm.
very little in the States, and then, of course, in our neighboring countries as well. I've got some networks, but it always sometimes boils down to money. Like I say,
Mm.
you always need a sponsorship to say, I like to see this staged in Switzerland. And I mean, there's quite huge costs that come up
Yeah.
that goes into planning such
Yeah.
a big production. And it's quite impossible to do it as an artist.
Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
always need like external funders and stuff like that. But I mean, through the networks and like I mean, it's not just like people, it's like also like institutions like universities that side, because I've held workshops at in Vienna, for instance, at the conservative music in Vienna. So you see that's also a network, and there's also the few people that I spoke to upon the tour last year to say I need us, and then they also offered, they said, okay, sir, we can't offer you this, but maybe if you're in Vienna, we can offer you guys a
Mm.
space to rehearse. We can offer, while you rehearse, you can use the canteen, we can cater the food for you and the water. So
Mm.
those things, it's like all different parts that
Mm.
makes it come alive.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
But yeah, it's not an
Yeah.
easy task. It's definitely not an
Yeah,
easy
yeah, and it
task.
needs
Yeah.
bunch of it. It needs money, but everything needs money, and
Sure. Sure.
artists across
Sure.
across the spectrum can totally relate to that. So, with regards to
Sure.
the actual album, so is it a physical album like a CD, like old school, or is it also available on on all your streaming platforms, your Spotify's, iTunes, and so forth?
Yes, so the album is on Spotify, on all the streaming platforms. And on the day of the launch, however, I've only printed 50 CDs only. And that's only gonna
Five
be the 50 that's gonna be
five
printed.
zero.
And then it's 50.
Why
And
only?
then
Why
this
only
one
five
is
zero?
just
Hmm? Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
because this one is just gonna be it's gonna be for the people that will attend the launch, pretty much.
Ah.
So that it's gonna be like a kind of a significant symbol of them to say they were here on the birth of the launch, and then everyone else will can stream the it's already out. Everyone can stream the album and stuff, but those physical copies are just a symbol for people who gonna be there on the birth of it,
That's a
on the
dope
launch.
concept. That's a dope concept.
Yeah.
Here's a
Yeah.
question that I would like to ask musicians. So, to my understanding, that with the streaming platforms, that iTunes pays the
Mm.
most and YouTube Music pays the least. Is that true?
Yeah. Li- Listen, man, I think generally, to be honest with you, all these platforms don't come close to what I mean,
The
they are
album
older,
sales.
the CDs. Yeah, the
Yeah.
CDs.
Yeah.
So it's almost like, now amongst us musicians, when we, use easily spend 100K to record an album, we just say it's just like an expensive business card, because that's what it is. And also beyond that, it's a business card. It's just that you can't sit with messages you have to print the messages must come out to the people. So music
I
is not
get it.
really about me. It's not about me trying to keep my own stuff in my room. If there is no funding, if there's no but the music needs to come out. So we
Yeah.
have to take out the music for the people,
Yeah.
and then because this is with passion, this is what we do, this is what we love, and
Mm.
we are vessels. We're not even sure that these are our compositions. We're just vessels that receive this music
Yeah.
that needs to reach out to the people. Yeah.
Yeah.
So to answer that question, I mean, I would not even favor one over the other. I think they all
Yeah.
don't even pay enough. Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually a fascinating a concept that I'm also trying to learn on my own. For I've reasons for that, and it's interesting how musicians are adapting. So just the last question on the actual printing of the album. So I mean, I would
Mm,
assume that 50 CDs will probably move the first day. If there's sort of
yeah.
a request for and this is actually also relates back to funding. So I understand if well,
Yeah.
I'll let you explain. I don't want to assume. So if there's sort of a like you get hits on social media and whatever to say, look here, is there a way that we can buy the
Yes.
album? Would you do that? Because I mean that would be
Sure.
pretty expensive, isn't it? To if
Yeah. Yeah. No.
because
The
because
thing is, I
writers
mean,
use a similar thing.
yes, because I mean, I can't completely write off the idea of printing more CDs, but I mean, if I see the need for it, and definitely, I will definitely make a way. I mean, of course, if there is a demand or a certain group that wants to buy, I think I can definitely organize and print more CDs. Yeah,
Interesting. That's
yeah.
a that's a that's a that's a fascinating topic that I definitely want to explore more on this platform. To see how,
Mm,
especially with the when it comes to remediation, financial the financial uh, uh,
mm,
side of it. But anyway, I don't want
sure.
to dwell too much in that, at least not in this episode. So the Black Child
Mm,
gets launched on the 30th of August at Chris Seabrook
yes.
Hall at six
Mm,
o'clock. Tickets are 350. People that's coming to the
yes.
show, what are they? What can they expect?
Listen, it's gonna be more than a performance, but it's gonna be an experience. People will walk out there with pure hearts, because we're gonna sit all together, we're gonna discuss, we're gonna self-reflect, we're gonna cry, we're gonna laugh, we're gonna walk out of that hall dancing, and we're gonna walk out of there feeling so good about ourselves.
Yeah, like that. That is cool. It's interesting that you always
Yeah.
say cry.
Yeah,
I
there
think if
must be
people
there
cry,
must be a little bit of like contrast.
there must be a tear somewhere.
Yeah.
I think that's the
There must be a
ultimate.
tear somewhere.
What's the thing?
Yeah,
If an artist can make a stranger cry using their talent,
that's
that's
it.
almost the ultimate. Like I've
That's true. That's true.
I've done my job,
That's true.
but I've done my job for the day.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, it's
Exactly.
interesting. It cuts across everyone. Writers do the same thing. Visual artists, poets,
Mm.
actors even have the same thing. So that's interesting. So tell me, like, just I mean, we're in August now. The year. I mean, winter's on its way out. So where can people what stages are you going to be on? Where will you be performing? Are there any gigs coming up that you can sort of tell my listeners about?
Okay. So, I mean, after the launch in September, we did get an invite at the university at TUT to go and present the work to the students there. So the university is funding that to come and display the work with their students. And after that, soon after that, in October, we have the a second launch in Cape Town because they've been a a huge demand in Cape Town. People who said,
Yeah,
"Listen,
the
we can't
market
fly
is
to
big
show
there.
work. We can't. Please, yeah, please bring the launch to us." And then with enough number of people, we decided now working closely with the company in Cape Town to stage this launch. It's then the date is going to be announced after the Joburg launch, and after that in November we're going to do the same launch in Durban. we also got it. We got it, lots of demands from that side from the people in Durban as well. So we're currently speaking to people in Gqeberha and East London to see if we can come and present the same lodge to them.
So
So we're quite busy, amongst other things, of plans to do a proper tour, a proper South African tour, proper African tour, and possibly a European tour. But I mean, that's also dependent on the fundings
yeah,
and sponsorships and all.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No. I get that. I get that one. So yeah, man. If any
Mm.
listeners wanna find your music, I mean, you said you're on all the streaming platforms, but social media handles. Are you active? Are you active there? Facebook, Instagram.
Yes, yes. I am quite active. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, and it's all the same. Viwe Mkizwana. That's it. Viwe Mkizwana. No underscore, no spacing, no anything. Just Viwe Mkizwana. You'll be able to find me on all platforms, all social media platforms.
Mm. And will
Yeah.
they yes, just sort of relates back to the printing of the album on these social media platforms. Do you actually sell music on there? Do people
Yes,
request
yes,
to
yes.
buy music? How is so if
Yes.
somebody contacts you, how does that work?
So sometimes what we do, we all have these. There's like a jazz societies as well who
Mm.
still deal with physical copies. They in WhatsApp groups. There's all these things happening. So people can even go through that direction to get my album, or they can direct contact me directly. I'll post the album to them, even if you are in Mpumalanga somewhere or in Polokwane. I'll be able to post an album. I mean, at least the previous album, the previous two albums of mine, it's I still even today get requests, some people wanting to buy, so I still post those albums wherever you are in South Africa, of course.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about your previous albums, but now you said you
Okay.
still people are still requesting. Do you still perform there?
Yes, I definitely still performing. And my first album, we're also planning to do something next year with my first album. It's gonna be 10-year anniversary since I recorded the first album, 2016. Next year we're doing it, and we're doing it big. We're hoping to do it with a full orchestra, and just to give people, just to say, thank you to the
Yeah,
people
thank
who
you.
supported that journey from the start.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, it's important to
yeah.
celebrate those milestones. It also says a lot
Mm.
about you as a
So,
musician and about your what do
hmm,
you call it, staying power. I think that's the word.
for sure,
Yeah,
for
no,
sure.
those type of things are very. And maybe I can also profile that here on this platform. So I'll definitely keep an eye open for that, and I'll definitely check you out
Mm.
on all the various platforms. And like you said, like I was going through your channel,
So,
your channel yesterday. To my listeners, there's also a lot of content on there if you are interested. A lot of live content, which is cool. And like I said, man, jazz is my thing. It's
no way.
very important to my creative process. And it's always if it's either not in the background, then it's in the foreground. If that makes any sense. But it's
Sure, sure,
always in
I
the
get
studio
you.
over here. It exists in the space constantly, and I'll definitely be jamming. I'll definitely be jamming this. So my brother, just sort of in wrapping up, you said you are on all the social media handles that Viwe Mkizwana. It's
Kizwana. Yes.
yeah. On he also said on YouTube. And just to
Hmm.
wrap up, it's on the 30th of August at 6 o'clock. The tickets are 350, and they're also available on Webtickest, correct?
Correct. 100%. 100%. Yes.
And then, yeah, man, we were all the best. And thanks for coming through, my brother. It was really interesting, especially like how you compose
Yeah.
the song, like you
Yeah.
start off with the bass first and sort of hum, and then sort of add on that. It's interesting, and this is
Yeah.
sort of in closing. What I find fascinating about the arts, about different genres, is how it's actually the same. As much as you playing with music, somebody was playing with
Mhm.
words or with images. That's a very similar
Sure.
it's always laid. It always starts off
Sure.
with the bass and with the theme, and you just start layering and layering and inviting other people, and eventually it gets
Sure.
to this project that is consumed by people. So that's
That's it. Yeah.
and just
That's
the
pretty
last thing
much
to
the
my
same. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. And to my listeners, I will add all viewers' social media handles and all that stuff in the description below in the box. So if you look out for that, if you lost that in the interview. That's all the social media. And so, oh yeah, one last question. Do you have a website, or is it just social media?
No, I don't. I do not have a website. Yeah, no, I do not have a website. But everything of mine is out
Yeah.
there online somewhere.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's also
yeah.
interesting. Websites
Mm.
websites were very popular 10, 15 years ago, and people don't
Yes,
really worry with it. I think
yes.
social media has taken over that over
True.
there. But my brother, thanks a lot, man,
That's true.
for
That's true.
coming through. All the best for the album.
Man,
I will publish this
and
episode in next week because I've got one to publish actually
oh, wait.
tomorrow. So I'll publish this in next week, but I'll let you
Fantastic.
know via social media or WhatsApp. And then I also chop
Man.
the episode into shorts, and I'll do a bunch, maybe five
Oh,
or
man.
six, and those shortened formats
Sure.
because that's a very effective way of marketing and promoting
Yeah.
everything, really. And I'll definitely keep you up to speed with all of that. So once again, my brother, thanks for coming through, man.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much for having me, man. And thank you again. And thank you to your listeners, and thank you to your podcast, man. Truly, truly appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Thanks, my brother, man, and have a good day. And I'll be in touch with regards to when I publish the
You too.
episode. Yeah.
You too. Cheers, man. Keep well. Bye.
Salute, man. Duidelijk. Shop, shop.